Given that this federal government has been very aggressive in pursuing policies that blanket the whole entire country from a very top-down perspective and restricting the rights of states, if the federal government was to go through for any further restrictions in the Second Amendment, do you support nullification as a form of protection for states to protect their constitutional Second Amendment rights?
The best way for us to protect the constitutional rights of American citizens against this kind of legislation is for us not to pass it in the first place. That's exactly why Senator Paul, Senator Cruz, and I, along with others who have since joined us, have promised to utilize the Senate rules to make sure we get a 60-vote threshold against this. Because once it passes, it's much more difficult for us to protect the rights of citizens. If it doesn't pass in the first place, and we think we can stop that from happening, then we don't have to worry about that.
So given that this proposed assault weapons ban wouldn't have prevented the massacres in the first place, and given the president's strong sympathy toward the United Nations anti-Second Amendment bill that they had passed at the UN as of recent, do you think that this president has a serious agenda against the constitutional liberties of this country?
Let me put it this way. I can't read minds. I don't know what his subjective intent is with regard to this or almost any other issue. But what I do know is that to the extent he's pushing this legislation, he is pushing to undermine the rights, the individual liberties of law-abiding U.S. citizens. And that's something we really need to look out for, because we have to remember there are two groups of people that we need to keep in mind whenever we pass laws. There's one group of people that will more or less always obey the law, regardless of what it says. There's another group of people that is going to break the law, almost regardless of what it says. The legislation the president has been pushing would significantly undermine the rights of individuals in the first group, people who are going to obey the law one way or another, and that's unfortunate. It would undermine their rights while doing little, if anything, to deter or prevent violent crime from occurring in the first place.